Hello, Internet. We're here again. It's Popcorn Chicken. Going to talk about Andor. This is episode 10. So this is the third triplet of the episodes that they're doing. Anyway, it was the prison break episode, and we're going to talk about it. So here's Elvin and Nathan.
Yo.
Hello there.
Hi.
It was a circus of an episode.
It was. So
I already got the joke. Andy
Serkis. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So Elvin, I hinted last time we were together that I had heard some dirty fan theories about some people, and you were like, wait until the podcast. Wait until the podcast. And I was like, okay. This episode kind of debunks those theories. Cheers. I don't even have anything to drink.
Pause the show and go get yourself a drink.
Okay.
Go get a drink while I talk about my drink. Blue Monkey is a refreshing beverage. It is carbonated. It is local to Vancouver, I believe. And we're going to probably reach out to them. And they should reach out to us. Give us some Blue Monkey drinks. They're really good. They're at Costco. And we're not even getting paid to say that right now. So, get a hold of us if you're listening to us. You're probably not, but we'll get a hold of our beverage company here. See if they want to sponsor us. Hello to Omar. Hello, sir. We are doing great.
I have to ask, what is Blue Monkey?
Sorry?
Sorry, what is Blue Monkey?
It's a carbonated drink.
It's a local drink.
This is pomegranate, non-alcoholic. They have mango, which is my favorite. I clear that out in 5 minutes when I get it at home. Everybody at home gets really upset with me because they have a pack of 16 and there are 4 flavors in the box. And mango goes out the door within minutes of coming to my house. Everybody's fighting over the mango drink. This is my second favorite pomegranate. My family just gets really upset when I bring it home because they know I'm going to drink all the mangoes right away. So they try to hide it from me. But yeah, it's available at Costco and it's really good. I like it.
We already got Omar in the chat and also Cowabunga. This is the Willow pre-show.
Willow, is it already out or is it coming out soon?
Is it? They wouldn't dare compete. Disney wouldn't dare make Andor compete with Willow.
It is released on the 30th of the month.
Oh. So perfect. We're gonna end Andor by then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll fall right into Willow right after that.
Yeah. So the theory that I heard.
All right, go ahead. You had a Star Wars theory
that has some weight behind it.
Okay.
That kind of makes sense. And as far as just like, Disney properties and Star Wars things, it's just like, I could see them doing that. It is that Luthen is actually a Sith. And he is like trying to take over Palpatine, but is smart enough to know that he can't just be like, oh, I'm going to just go and fight him and take him over. So he's like, I need to, because he owns the Empire. He owns the world, the universe. So he's like, I got to build this thing from the ground up to take over his entire thing. And in this episode, it kind of debunks that a little bit, but also kind of gives
the second you said that,
mm-hmm.
the instant image of him at the elevator shaft waiting.
I honestly, when he had the elevator button, I was like, is that a lightsaber? Is he gonna just fucking you can't leave? I was just like, oh shit. And then
but it's just how the wind softly tosses his outfit to the side and this little menacing look, because that's the most menacing I've seen him.
Yeah.
In that shot. Otherwise, he's like, happy-go-lucky guy. But that right there, as soon as you said that, I had that image right away in my head.
But the double life, the Palpatine thing, there's been a lot of, and also too, all of the things in his collection are related to the fall of the Jedi. They've got the beginning of what could be argued as the start of the Empire. The Battle of Naboo, he's got one of the shields from the Gungans. He's got Sith and Jedi holocrons, which would make sense why he's even allowed to have those. He's got like Queen Amidala's head Queen Amidala's headdress. He's got Sith Stalker armor in there, and so he's got all these like Empire, start of the Empire, fall of the Jedi Order memorabilia things in there. And it's just like, and we've also been asking, like, how the fuck is he allowed to even have those? Those should all be like taken by the Empire and by the Sith and stuff. And it's just like, wait a minute, what if he's a Sith? So
my mind is like,
yeah, and also at the end when he's asked like, what have you sacrificed? And he's like, everything, and it just like bellows out and echoes. It was just like, ooh. So, but and two, and the monologue that he gives when he's like, I've given up relationships, or like I can't have love, I can't have attachments and all that. So it's like maybe he's a fallen Jedi, or like a gray
or disgruntled
Jedi, yeah. And so there's, and yeah,
it's a very, very interesting theory.
Yeah,
but are we giving them way too much credit?
I would argue that is kind of a cop out. Like that's like it is an interesting.
I think it would be kind of cool though. Like you're right.
No, I'm not saying
it is.
I'm not saying it won't be cool. What I'm saying is, are we giving the Star Wars division of Disney? Are we giving them way too much credit, considering what we have seen come out from them? Their track record isn't the greatest right now.
No, it's not. But
aside from Mandalorian.
Yeah, but as we've talked before, it's like this is the least hands-on Disney thing that they've had, it seems. Because like all of the Disney-isms, and like even in the Prison Break this episode, there was so many opportunities for like when all the prisoners were like throwing stuff at the guards. There were so many times, like if this was a hands, like Disney had their paws on this, it would have been like, oh no, I got hit by scrap metal. Now I can't shoot. I'm disoriented. But instead, he's just like, ow, fuck. And like he kind of was off put by it, but it wasn't like, oh no, this 1 weak prisoner has now turned into fucking Barry Bonds and thrown a 500-kilometer pitch to my forehead and somehow killed me. So, I think this is the least hands-on Disney thing. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll put that in the back of our heads, and hopefully something materializes similar to that. Because if that is the case, it will flip this show on its head.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you, the naysayers, even like myself, will have to retract everything they've said about the way this show's gonna go forward. But until then, I'm gonna be salty.
Because also too that it has like a lot of extended universe stuff, like the games. They like to have hidden Jedi like that, and Luthen is so used to, and as he says to many people, like, I'm tired of putting a mask on. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of hiding. And it's like, maybe he
means it literally.
Yeah, maybe he's hiding even harder than we assume. But yeah, so a lot happened this episode, and
yes, let's you called it the prison escape, or
Prison Break, the episode.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, so beginning right off the bat, you have Diego Luna's character trying to convince.
It starts right from where the last episode ended.
There's no break. He's just basically saying, "Listen, now's the time. Now's the time. You gotta understand that there's no escaping from this.
Yeah,
you're gonna be dead.
One way out.
You're not gonna be able to go free. They're gonna ship you off to another place. You're gonna end up dying in this prison cell, no matter what. It's all a lie. You know it. I know it now. The truth is coming out. We gotta deal with it right now." So. And Andy Serkis is just like conflicted. He's just like, no, I don't know. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
They told me this thing. I'm going to believe them. For me, I just thought the switch was so fast. I don't know about you guys, but I just thought him changing mind wasn't a whole lot of convincing done.
Well, I think the last episode, we see a lot of like, because like every time Andor said something to him, and he's just like, "You think they're listening to us? You think this?" And he's like, he's sowing the seeds, and you are seeing the gears turn. And Andy Serkis, to his credit, is like a fucking phenomenal actor. So you can see that he's not just like, well, whatever, brushing it off. He's like pausing. You see in his eyes, like, fuck, okay. But then he's just like, no, I've got a good thing, and I can count the number of days. And he's always hanging on to that. Like, we need to be good. We need to, do our job and do what we're told, because we're getting out of here. And like when the old guy, what's his name, who died, who had the stroke, Olaf. When Olaf was dying, he was like, he's only got 40 days. I just want to get him out of here. 40 days. He's almost out of retirement. And then when it's just like, oh yeah, that's not a thing. And he's just like, all right, I have nothing left. And later on in the speech that he gives, he's just like, I'm just going to assume I'm already dead and go from there, because he's now has the realization that the one thing he was clinging to is a lie. So he's just like, oh, I got nothing, so fuck it.
I love the part where he says power doesn't panic.
Yeah,
that was a good line.
Yeah, and this was like borderline Aaron Sorkin writing, like the back and forths. There were so many good lines and then retorts of those lines. It was just like, what do you call that? Well, that's power. And he's like, power doesn't panic. And he goes, and then again, you're seeing the gears, and he's just like, you're right. Like, they wouldn't. This isn't order. This isn't calculated. This is them going, fuck it, just fry them all. We have a problem. Just turn the gas on. Done. And then you see the not only the switch in Andy Serkis's head, but also you see the switch, the dynamic switch, where now Andor is like telling him, like, okay, form up. We got to get in forming or on program. Yeah. And he's starting to freak out because it's starting to all crash around him. And then he was like, we don't have a plan. He's like, we do. Here's, and this is one thing that I have been praising the show about, is not holding our hands through everything. We didn't have a 3-episode arc of them creating a plan. We didn't have like a bunch of like, all right, now we got the maps. Now we got a thing. It's just like, he's sawing at a thing. Okay. They're talking a little bit. Okay. These two guys, Andor and this other guy, they're kind of noticing a couple things, and they're slowly showing us that like, they're not all like, there's something else going on. And then now with the Prison Break episode, we can kind of see, again, without a lot of hand holding or over explaining, just like, all right, they've had these all plans. And it wasn't even that big of a huge like master plan. It was pretty straightforward. Just like, all right, if we get water, then that'll short circuit electricity. And I think that they too were even just like, it'll short circuit the floors, and then we've got some time. But they didn't expect like, oh, it shut down the whole power. So now they can't even communicate out, which was another thing that wasn't over explained. Like when they finally burst the pipe and got the water to flood, and then they turned on the thing and it shorted out the floor, he's trying to radio in, and they weren't like, oh, the comms are out. What's going on? Oh no, I can't communicate. They just showed this guy talking, and you're led to believe, oh, maybe they're calling for help. And then a few minutes later, we see the other teams just like, hey, do you know what's going on 5D? And they're like, I don't know, water leak. Okay, how long does that take? Not this long. Get someone down there.
Nathan, what do you thought of the Prison Break scene?
Do you know what? At first, I'll admit, I thought it was kind of clever how they did it without needing some big master plan. But I thought it was a little simple at the start. I thought, wow, this is not really as built up as I thought it would be. But as soon as I got to the stage where, okay, I'm going to speak to all the prisoners, was Andy speaking to all the prisoners? He's telling them, rallying them all up, and then it turns from this little prison. Speech. Yeah, the locker room speech turns from this little prison break to this mass exodus of everyone there. And I thought, oh, do you know what? That's finally making this episode for me. Up until that point, I was a little hesitant. But that moment made the episode. Best episode yet? Yes. I won't say best episode yet, but I will say it is. Andy is. It was
amazing. Let's say it was more intriguing than the previous two.
Yeah.
Let's just say that right now.
For sure.
Sure, absolutely. But now, I guess we can talk about this later. But so then they get and again, what this show is regularly doing is not over glorifying, when somebody dies. and like we saw that one redhead dude who we kind of know and has had a few lines. He gets shot, and they look at him for a second, and then they on to the next thing. But they're not like slow motion, like, oh no, the
A lot of
ginger
people got shot.
died.
A lot of people
remember
got
the,
shot.
the Obi-Wan show where
Yeah.
they had that person. I can't even remember who they were. It was some girl. She got shot because she decided to just stand in the middle of a hallway and get shot. And they slow motioned it, and she turned around and fell to the ground.
Yeah,
and
and it's just like, oh, you mean the person who's been running the Underground Railroad dies? Oh, no shit.
whoa.
Oh, her droid dies that we don't give a fuck about? Okay, we're gonna spend another 10 seconds slow-mo on this bitch. Okay, sweet. Oh no, the droid died in the giant battle at the end. But this is just like, he's dead. Also, too, I like the new guy who came last episode. He was also in this room. We see like kind of him in the background, like, oh shit, like he's shaking and panicking because he's been here for a fucking day.
Yeah, one
And
day
he's like,
already shit's.
yeah, he's like, how do I build this thing? Oh, we're breaking out. Okay, fuck. and also too, a little background thing too, that like they didn't over explain or like tell us why they're doing it, but like the I guess the welder things that they are using, a bunch of them had those behind their backs when they were on program, and then they ripped them off, so then all the propane or whatever gas would just start losing. So they were just like creating chaos all around them, and it was super cool. And it was yeah. And then let's see, so then they get onto the thing, and I love how like they start throwing a bunch of stuff, and again, like the guards get hit by it, but they're just like, ow, don't, ow. And all they're doing is trying to create a distraction for, you know, the main guys or for whoever's trying to get rid of them. Then they get rid of the guards, or no, but then they, oh, also too, when they fry the floor and then it shorts out, Andy Serkis is standing on the floor, like still trying to get people on the tables. So he's like, again, it goes with the you know, I'm gonna assume I'm already dead and go from there. And then he's on the floor, it shorts out, he's alive, and there's just like this 3 seconds of silence, and then he's just like, attack.
Yeah, he freaks out.
Yeah. Oh, there were so many good like goosebump moments that were just perfectly paced, and it wasn't just like nonstop action. There was good ups and downs and pauses where you were just like, oh, and then an explosion, and then and then how they showed like going through all the different floors and all the reactions of the different floors and stuff. And also too, like not everyone that was in the original heist was down for it. Like there was the one guy who's just like, I'm gonna play dead, and he's just like, you better not die before you put up a fight. And he's just like, fuck,
Yeah.
okay. And then the line that Diego Luna said to him, I'd rather die trying to get out of here than die building anything more for them.
Die for a reason, right? Like,
yeah,
like if you think you're gonna die, okay, well, die trying.
Yeah,
right? Don't just you know, bend the knee and just get shot in the head and game over, right? Like, put up something, do something for all of us.
And two, there's a great callback sort of to the second or third episode when Andor is talking to the guy with the book. I can't remember his name. The kid who the manifesto, the communist kid.
Oh yeah.
When he's talking to him, and that kid's like, I can't sleep. Why can't I sleep or whatever? And then Andor's just like, it's because you care too much. I don't care about anything. I sleep like a baby. But now we're seeing he before didn't care and was just trying to get money, and he knows the Empire's fucked, and he's just like, whatever. I steal to live. He's like pulling the street rat thing. Now he's like, this is bullshit. They're putting us in prison, and now he's got like a reason to fight. And there was a quick shot of him just not sleeping at all through the night, and it's like, he believes in something now. There's a subtle little thing. He gives a shit now. It's not all about money. He's actually trying to fight back. He's got a reason to live. So he's staying up all night because he can't fucking.
So we do get, you know, an aerial shot of the prison. It's like a wheel, but we see people jumping off. So that's the thing here. You got to jump off and swim to shore.
One way out.
One way out. He looks over to Andy Serkis, and Andy Serkis is like, I can't swim.
Yeah, and he starts like
And I'm
laughing.
just like, oh, that's how they get rid of Andy in the show. Okay.
That's how he becomes Snoke. He's the only
Yeah.
one left. This is
Well,
his
too,
origin.
I saw a lot of like references to like a Moses type thing where like he gets him, out the dunes, or not the Dune Sea, that's Star Wars. Whatever.
Red
He's
Sea parts.
the,
The Red
nope.
Sea or-
No, the Dune Sea. We're gonna keep it in Star Wars. He gets
Okay.
he gets the Ewoks through the Dune Sea.
The Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, Tusken Raiders through the Dune Sea. And then he gets to the end and he's like, yeah, you can't enter. And he's just like, and he's smiling because he's like, I did it. And again, he's like, we succeeded. We got out of here and I'm already dead. So like I can now see the fruit of my labors. And okay. And then they didn't show him dying. They were just like, yeah, you're here. So I don't know if maybe he'll get like he'll probably just get
So I have two things I want to mention. One, if people out there are saying, "Oh, this was a pretty simple escape," yes, that's the point. They were not equipped to control that many people in that prison. They had very minimal amount of guards, maybe 3 guards per level, and they never thought, because of their arrogance, they never thought anyone would try to attempt to escape from there.
Yeah,
but obviously they were wrong, and because they were so arrogant about things, it was very easy to get through and escape, right? Because the numbers just overwhelmed. You saw even in some scene where they're hiding, they have guns, but they're like, no, there's like 6 of us with guns, but there's like 100 of them running to us. So even if we shoot all day long, we're still going to get trampled because the numbers are way too big, right?
Yeah. It was a good like the old or the new trilogy had a problem with just rehashing the old Star Wars movies, and this one did a good reference to it in the same universe, where it was like the Death Star got blown up because of one weakness that somebody put in there, and it was strength in numbers, and it was the action, and the same thing when they would go and when Han Solo was like facing off with a Star Destroyer, and he was just like, you can't do that, and they're like, they're not equipped to blow up a small ship. Those are made for ship to ship combat. Like, I'm a small ship, like they wouldn't expect us to do this. So it's just, again, that arrogance, but it's not just directly ripping off and being like, oh, they found a hole and they shot a womp rat, a hole size of a womp rat. It was just like clever thinking and then taking advantage of their arrogance.
Okay, one thing that did bother me, and you guys can kind of maybe shed light on this. They escaped. All these prisoners are escaping. Some of them have got to be some bad people in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
So you're just
Couple
basically...
murders.
Did they not account for this? Like, there's got to be murderers there, thieves there. There's got to be some really bad people in that prison.
True, but I think
you just let everybody go now. Sorry?
I think at the end of the day, though, those of them that had waited a long time are just thinking, do you know what? Screw it. The people that are imprisoning us aren't playing by the rules. No, we're not going to. We're going to break out. I'm not going to deal with this. And you get to a point where I have never been in prison, so I can't really speak from experience. I can't speak for the rest of you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can. But I think it gets to the point where they're okay with letting, like, the other prisoners are okay with letting out other people that might not be as good because they've got such a hatred for the Empire, and they believe that the Empire now is just evil. It's injustice, and therefore all the people inside, even if they did do something wrong, is now a victim, and they're now comrades, especially since they need each other's help to get out. I might be overthinking this, though. I think at the end of the day, they just want to bust out, and working together is the best way to do it.
And also, too, it's if they're just like, oh, you're murderers? Well, we would like to murder people who work for the Empire. So you're out. You're on the team.
That's true. Some of them just killed the guards to get out.
Yeah.
So
one thing I didn't like about this episode is they left those 2 Imperial officers, or the people in the they ran out, and I was like,
a bullet to their heads.
I was like, they know how to turn shit on.
Yeah, I was thinking they're gonna like call for help or do something. There's backup power still. They're gonna do something that'll screw things up. I would have liked it more if they took it.
Yeah, let's just assume other people came in and was like, "Hey, nice shirt." Because also too, they were like, we need to guard this door, and then Andor's just like, let somebody else do it. Let's fucking go.
I like how they had like the interaction between Andor and those two. I don't want to call them guards, the
Yeah.
IT guard people.
Yeah.
I liked it because they weren't like the stereotypical tough, evil, bad
Mm-mm.
henchmen. They're like,
You're
I
not
just work
supposed
here.
to be here. You're not. Do you have clearance? You're not allowed to be here.
It's sort of like what would happen if you walked into the back of a Starbucks and you don't work there. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Just that
you
confusing.
can't
I
do
liked it.
this. It's like
I'm
I'm
looking
making
for
coffee. Fuck
sugar.
off.
I'm
Yeah.
looking for sugar.
Yeah.
Is this where you keep the pumpkin spice?
Yeah. Where the pumpkin spice at?
First of all, ew, and then yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just cinnamon and like.
Oh, I like pumpkin
Cumin.
spice actually.
Yeah,
I had a
fine.
feeling Nathan would.
I hate the
Nathan definitely would be a type of guy.
demographic.
I used to work there, so
Okay,
I'm
speaking of
partial.
spice, we have Mon Mothma.
Yo,
Okay, so this
this was so good.
very, very controversial
Yo,
conversation.
and the amount of double speak and just like this again was the Andy Aaron Sorkin like West Wing like shit where it was just like every single phrase that they said to each other had a double meaning, and it was just like, so she meets with the thug and she's like, oh yeah, or he's like, oh, I've been here 30 years ago. My boss thought it would be a good idea for me to see the Chandrillan embassy on Coruscant, so I thought I'd be coming back. But yeah, it's how was it? And he's like, I don't remember. I didn't pay attention. I thought I'd be coming back more often, but it looks old. She's like, yeah, we can't really update things. There's kind of rules, and he's just like, yeah. Old sucks. I like being fucking rich because then I can get new shit.
So
She's-
arrogant, right?
Yeah,
So-
and she's just like, all right, duly noted. And he's like, yeah. So I hear you're looking for alternative banking stuff. And then what's his name? She's like, we already talked about this. He's like, yeah, but I want to hear her say it. Just fucking the slimiest dude. She's like, yes,
So good.
I would like extra money. He's like, okay, cool. Well, anyway, just because, you're all hoity-toity and shit doesn't mean, it makes you a bad person working with me. She's like, okay, that's it. He's like, I met your husband a bunch of times, which just means like her husband's kind of a slimy piece of shit, which we already knew. And then, then she's just like, all right, what's your cost? And he's like, I have no money's boring to me. I already have all of it. Let's just like our old Chandrillian traditions, which people think are weird, but I think it's pretty okay. Maybe my son should meet your daughter. And Jen, she just starts fucking fuming.
But okay, here's the thing. I don't understand why. Why is she freaking out? He just wants his son to meet his daughter.
But
If I was her, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna play this game out. They can go meet all they want. I'm gonna be around. I just need this to go through so I can, have that entertainment going. And then when I get my way, then I can just, usher him to the side, right? Say, okay, you got to meet her, and that's it.
But she knows that it just doesn't start with that. She knows he's just implying, like, hey, I just want them to meet. But then 6 months down the line, he goes, hey, I think they should get married. And she goes, that's never happening. He goes, well, it's a nice place you got here. It's a shame if the Empire knew every fucking thing about it, who you've been talking to and where all your money's going. Oh, look. Oh, there's a ISB agent that I've been having dinner with recently. He'd be really interested.
But I
in
mean, what's
hearing
stopping
about
him
a
from doing it
business."
now?
She doesn't have the account with him yet, so he doesn't really have any concrete stuff on her. I think.
Yes.
But the conversation's already started.
Yeah, but
What?
you've seen it.
We've
It's
seen
so
people go for.
covert.
We've seen people go to prison for less. Hello.
True, but she's a senator. Senators have got a lot of immunity. We have
Yeah.
got Princess Leia straight up being on a little ship. Was it a Corvette?
Yep.
Leaving from where the Death Star plans were just stolen. And
Yep.
it's clearly her. And she's like, I've got diplomatic immunity, Vader. You can't touch me.
And he's like, fuck, I'll find the rebel friends. But also, too, it's just like he is doesn't want to be like start threatening her immediately because he wants that clout. She has a lot of sway and a
Get
lot
more
of
dirt on her, right?
well, he stands to benefit. Like it starts with this, and this is just his way in. But then, like 2 years later, after he's doing good with her and stuff, and as she said, like I would rather pay you money because I don't like to owe people favors. And he's just like, well, that's how I deal business. So fuck you. And a year down the line, he's like, hey, you should probably push this motion in the Senate so that my friends over on Tatooine, they don't have to talk to the Empire. They don't have to give up their tax records. So he is going to benefit greatly from the relationship with her as much as she is. So but he's just like going in right off the bat, just like, and she's fuming because like the whole reason why she's doing this is to save her future, save her family and the galaxy and fight tyranny. And then immediately he's just like, all right, you want to save your family? Cool. Well, how about ruining it first? And then we can look at the bigger picture or whatever.
Nate?
Yep. Oh, well, someone's coming to visit Nathan.
Yeah, sorry
I'm
about
on the
that.
internet.
It's all right. It's all right. Oh, maybe she'd make it. Hey, this reminds me of a cereal here. This could be a
Okay.
cereal moment here.
Speaking,
Did
Okay.
you eat your breakfast, Nathan?
I thought of a really funny thing that you'll really like, Elvin. So the conversations, we didn't get any Cyril this episode. But
I know. I missed that.
yeah, worst episode ever.
I know.
So
get to
the conversations with Cyril and his mom are very apropos of Seinfeld's and George's mom and him or whatever, or even Jerry's mom a bit. But I learned a very interesting thing that was almost a direct relation to Seinfeld.
What did you learn?
So the intro, the opening Andor splash, has a different song every time, and it is directly related to that episode, which, like in the Seinfeld episodes, every intro bass lick was to the beat of Jerry's stand-up, and it was played live every single time.
Oh.
Every bass intro was played to the same cadence that Jerry had in his opening stand-up thing, and every intro to Andor has a difference. I mean, the first three, it was like one string quartet and just a little bit. And then the second one, there was more strings brought in, a bit of a build. And the third episode, there was drums and shit.
See,
and
you as a musician can see that and hear that. Definitely pick it out. I had no clue. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I started because I've been, now that I know that each episode is kind of a package. There's a fucking fly in my eyeball. Like when this episode came out, I watched the two before it. Because again, my one problem with all this is this should have been 5 or 6 mini series where it's like, here's a 2-hour episode, here's a 2-hour episode, here's a 2-hour episode. The build up, there's so many.
Okay, well, before we get into that, Nathan, if you do need to go say hi to your mom, it's okay. Go ahead. You can darken the screen.
No, I don't need to.
I'm just saying, she might fix you a plate,
I don't think I'm going to get any blue milk.
Oh, Nathan just wants to reach out and strangle both of us.
No. It was my brother's birthday today, so it's probably being offered cake.
And then you hear on our podcast, what kind of brother are you?
Not a good one, but I'm just joking. I'm kidding.
Your uncle would be very disappointed.
I got him a gift. And
let me guess.
I ordered it through Amazon.
It's a bottle variety.
No, it's not. It's the weirdest thing. It's like
a
little
Matthew McConaughey thing.
It's a lamp, but it uses a candle. It's for like if the power goes out. He wanted it. But I ordered it off Amazon. It's supposed to arrive yesterday. Didn't. Instead, they said, we're sorry, it's late. So it arrived pretty late today. But the card I got him was a joke about Amazon packages like stuff arriving late. And so it just worked out really well.
Oh,
this is all according to plan.
Yes.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, happy birthday to your brother. Younger brother or older brother?
Younger.
Okay, cool. So not that important.
No.
Who?
Yeah, I know exactly. All right, back to this thing. So where are we at now after the conversation? Mothma didn't go so well.
Oh, and
Um,
I just loved the like her seething as
Oh, we're back
Mhm.
at Luthen's
Luthen. Yeah, there was only
museum.
like 3 scenes. And
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
exactly.
quite a. Well, I guess it still
Didn't
was a fairly
well, the
full
focus was
episode.
on the prison break.
Yeah,
Obviously.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Everyone knew going into this episode that that's going to be the focal point because you
Yeah.
saw it at the end of the last
I'm-
week's episode. It's going to get to that, right? So
Yeah, I'm really happy they didn't jump around too much. I
I would
were
have
just like,
been pissed. I would have been pissed that they kept going like 5 different places. I'd be like,
yeah.
let's just focus on a couple of storylines here.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, the pacing is very well thought out and they ramp up, do the prison break, they show you everything pretty much, and then they kind of go down to Mon Mothma after you're like, oh, prison break, fuck, and then you're like, okay, I need a breather, and they're like, all right, here's some social tension, and you're like, fuck. And then they ramp up even more so with the Luthen stuff. And yeah, so then we hear, oh, he wants to meet with you. And we're like, oh, and I was like, oh shit, who is it? And then he goes down, and we notice that there was some ISB stuff. The sting operation that they planted was a success, and everything's working out for them. And space Nazis, their plan's working. And then goes to Luthen, and then he goes down, and it's one of the officers. He's a double agent, and it was kind of foreshadowed, like in the scene before, because they kind of
I had a feeling
they held the camera on that guy for a little bit too long.
What do you
I
guys
had
think
a
of that? Did you guys? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Elvin.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. What do you guys think of that whole scene? Did you like the vibe of it? I loved when he first got in the elevator and he's looking around, because that's one thing that like spies do. They do dead drops. They things to
Mhm.
indicate that they want to talk or to send messages. Although historically, it's been like very very small things that are hard to
Mhm.
figure. You wouldn't find like an earpiece, but I guess because of Star Wars, it's more futuristic.
Well, the dead drop, those were, it was like there was a mark on the fountain, and he's like, yeah, it could be anything. And then they're like, the railing on the 34th level was broken off, fresh, new, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. That's a
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
little, like, completely innocuous sign that I want to meet. And then he puts the earpiece in there, which is like a one-way direct link. And then he goes, if this is a trap, hit floor 152. And then he's just like, all right, we'll have privacy. So that was cool to have like an extra level of security, not just like, all right, come down an elevator and I'm just going to roll the
Yeah,
dice
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to mention that we did talk about all of the the show does go back and forth in the prison break, but we in the beginning of our show here just talked about the whole prison break.
Yeah.
I just
well-
wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
So we just basically talked in no particular order. We just talked about the entire prison break
Yeah.
situation from beginning to end, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
But it is sprinkled in throughout the show.
Yeah. It dances around a little bit. Well, it's mainly just the
middle part of the episode is mainly the prison break.
Yeah.
Right. They're
Yeah, it
showing
starts
him
there.
breaking the water and all that stuff.
Yeah. They start there, then they get, I can't even remember. Yeah. It at no point was I just like, no, go back. It was just like, there was conclusions, and then it went to another thing. And then it was just like, oh, here's some more stuff here. And you're like, oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then we get the conversation with Luthen, and I loved the, like, in the earpiece, he's just like, yeah, I need to congratulate you, buddy. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
about what? He's like, you're a father, your daughter, she's growing up healthy, blah. And he's just like, I don't like that you know that. And he's like, well, we're friends. I think about you all the time. Come on. And it's just like a lightly veiled threat, kind of. It's not even a threat. It's just like, I need you to understand your fucking place in this before, because if you're coming to me, there's either something wrong or there's a problem. And before we talk face to face, you need to know your fucking place in this mess. And so then he gets down and he's just already cowering. And he's like, okay. And he's like, so why are we talking? And he's like, there's an agent. She's really good. Yeah, she knows about this. And he's just like, okay. And also too, I love that there's never any point where Luthen is boasting about his operations.
Nothing.
Like even his friends, he's just like, or his allies or whatever. When he's talking to Saw Gerrera, he's like at no point hints that he had any fucking thing to do with that. And then when he's talking to like his double agent who's been giving him information and vice versa, he's just like, oh, she's looking into this and she's making connections with this and she's gonna find this, because he's just assuming, oh, this was all you. And he's like, good, she's wasting your time. He's like, you had nothing to do with that. And he was like, we got invited, but I declined.
Yeah.
They got out of there lucky, and I don't use luck. And it's just like, oh,
All I know is my head is turning right now since you dropped that bomb. I just can't stop thinking about it now. And there's a line
it's a
that
good theory.
there's a line that he says in that elevator conversation. He goes, "And the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror."
Yeah.
And I'm now that you
So
said
many
this,
good
it makes
lines.
so much more sense what he was saying. But I still feel like we're giving them way too much credit. But
Yeah, I don't
oh
know
my
if-
god,
I think
if
this
is
I think
half
the Sith-
true.
Yeah. Also, too, in the first episode that we see Luthen, he's got a staff that looks like a fucking lightsaber hilt. It's a walking stick that, like, remember,
Don't make me go back to
expands.
episode 1 here.
it expands. This metal thing just goes, and he walks,
And he has the crystal.
and
That's true.
he's got a fucking kyber
Oh my
crystal
god, this is gonna be
from the
oh,
ricotta. Like he's
this is
Just
And-
having a kyber crystal alone is something incredibly difficult to possess unless you are force sensitive in some way. So, gosh,
this
yeah,
is
I like this
crazy.
theory.
This is crazy. This is crazy talk.
and again, everything in his thing is related to either the start of the Empire or the fall of the Jedi. The Jedi Guardian helmet. How would you have that?
Oh man.
Walking through the temple after Order 66. That's my guess how we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? Having his character, even if they don't do something like that, I still think that they might. He might have, or not might. I think he definitely has some sort of darker side.
Yeah.
He's done some activities that other people would not just view as questionable, but downright horrible, evil. And I really think that the show has pushed us in, or at least Star Wars, in the direction that we're not trying to, rainbows around. Someone gets cut in half with a lightsaber. That's okay. They're going to come back later, multiple times.
Yeah. Don't worry. Don't be a blue man now.
I also found it really discomforting until you dropped this bomb about how he doesn't care about casualties.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Yeah.
it's like, because of this, now it just like makes more sense where, 50 people dying, that's okay.
That's
You're
a
still
good price
alive.
to pay. Yeah.
It's all about you, buddy. As long as you're alive, I don't care about those 50 people.
I mean, that is just like showing the ruthlessness that, and like
A Sith
Andor
would show.
well, absolutely, but I mean, Andor has had those same those same tough decisions, and Luthen is just doing that on a larger scale. So I think, like, while I really like the theory, I don't think just because he is fine with civilian casualties, or not civilian, but he's fine with casualties, he's not okay with that. And even like in his rant, he goes through just like, I'm damned for the shit that I've done. Like, there's no saving me, but this is what I am cursed having to use. I'm cursed with the fact that I have to use the same weapons as my enemy to defeat them. And that line alone is just like, I know I'm fucked, but this is somebody has to do it. Like,
Or
I
could
can't
it also mean he has the Force like Palpatine, his enemy?
exactly.
Stretching it a bit, but
Yeah, but
yeah.
but like when he's like, oh well, we have to save them, and he's just like, no, because then they'll know something's up. So 50 people died. That's a pretty okay price to letting the ISB think that everything's okay.
actually, do you know what? What's that movie? I think it starts with an I.
Inception.
No, World War II.
Indiana Jones.
No, they created the first computer. It's
I,
the same
Robot.
thing. No.
Oh,
Imitation.
Imitation Game.
Yes, the Imitation Game, where the Brits have got intelligence on what the
Oh,
Nazis
yeah.
are doing. They've got this computer. They've got like the spy. Well, it's not spy,
Was it
but like spy
Benedict
software.
Cumberbatch that was in there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, and
Yeah,
he knew
they
what was
have-
going on, but they couldn't start changing the tactics. They had to let the Nazis still, sink their ships or do things to make them think that they haven't cracked the code. That's exactly what's happening.
Yep. Yeah,
We're giving them way too much credit here, guys. We're giving them.
I know. I do think that is. I think that's.
I don't think
too
so.
close to be a coincidence.
Keep in mind,
you're gonna get me so excited, and they're not gonna do this to me, and I'm gonna be really mad.
this is the same guy who did all the Bourne movies. If there's
Yes,
one thing that motherfucker
I know
knows
we
is like
have somebody...
twists and espionage and extreme like.
Oh man, I really want this to come true. Some sort of way.
Yeah.
If he dies, great, and then they uncover that he was, truly a Sith or something. But if a Sith is there, then doesn't that mean a Jedi needs to be somewhere as well now? Right? Doesn't a Jedi not
Obi-Wan shows up?
Oh god.
No.
No, Ahsoka's still around.
Ahsoka
You guys
is still
saw
around. We
Tales
saw a
of the
tit?
Jedi? Tales of the Jedi, or is it Tale of the Jedi? Tales of the Jedi.
By the
Yes,
way, we're
Alan,
supposed
did
to
you
watch
see
it.
it?
Did you guys all watch it?
Yeah, I have.
Did you watch it, Justin? No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
He
No, you
watched it
didn't.
before us.
I
Did you?
watched it the day it came
Oh,
out,
okay.
and I keep telling you.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried getting through the third episode and I couldn't do it.
Really?
I thought it was garbage.
Which one was the third again?
I watched the
one-
first two and I was bored.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't care for any of it.
That's fair.
But I got it. I'm like, okay, it's a small little tale, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What am I supposed to expect from here? Like Oscar award, writing here. But then the third episode, I was just like, oh, I can't do this. Is this?
Third was Mace Windu, right?
Yeah.
Mace Windu and Kantoku. Yeah.
Did
That's
you
when I
see
started
the
to get it
fourth?
good. No,
Did I turn it off at the wrong time?
you did. The third one is when it starts like they do the baby Ahsoka thing, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
and then you see like young,
Mace Windu.
No. You see young
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, and then the third one is when shit starts going down.
Okay.
The
The
I'll
fourth,
give
in
it
my
a-
opinion, the fourth. I don't want to spoil, or can I spoil? That's the one with Yaddle.
That's one with
I don't
Big
care. You can go ahead and
Yeah.
spoil it.
That's like
Yeah.
during Phantom of the Menace, or just after
Yeah.
Phantom of the Menace.
Okay, yeah, that one.
Phantom
was
of the
big-
Menace. Yeah, Phantom of the Opera.
That was the one with the big fight scene at the end, right?
Don't worry, I've done that many other
Yeah,
times.
yeah. That one. Yeah, Elvin, you have to see the fourth one. I think
Yeah.
you won't regret the fourth one. That one's
Fourth
definitely
one's-
worth it.
Well,
They're all worth it.
I'll try to get through it.
They're only 10 minutes or something long.
I know, but I have a jam pack week.
That's fair. That's
Right, I
fair.
have a jam pack.
We are very busy
yeah,
doing an event tomorrow, so it's
Yes.
understandable. But we'll talk about this fucking show eventually.
yeah. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay, what else are we going to talk about here on this? I don't even know what to do now because I'm just so like. I wish you just told me at the end of the
See,
show.
and two, a good point about him being like a Sith is the rewatchability of Andor just skyrocketed. If this happens,
Everybody who's
then
listening
you are
to
just
this,
like, I gotta watch episode 1 because there's so many little things that you're just like, oh fuck, yeah, of course he is. How could we not see it? Bah!
all 20 people that are watching this podcast are all gonna go back and rewatch it and pretend he's a Sith, just
It's
to
gonna fit.
just to giggle a little bit and have some giddiness in them.
It's gonna
Because this is what we want, right?
this
Like
is
we
the stupid
want
thing
this
too.
this badass universe where it's cutthroat, literally cutting throat, right? The Sith are snakes. They're gonna hide in the shadows, strike when they can, manipulate people, turn a whole group, a planet against others. This is what we want to see, and all that. And you saying this, it's a strong theory. It might not be true, but I dare I say it gives hope to us.
A new hope for Star Wars.
It gives us hope going forth in the future. So
What would give us more hope is if Kathleen Kennedy gets fired.
yes, by the way, she did come out and say that they made an error in doing some prequels, and they made an error in having multiple directors do a trilogy instead of one director.
Yeah,
Well,
they
thanks for stating the obvious. Thank you. It shouldn't be they. It should be you because you're the one that made that decision.
you're the
You
one who
wrote
was the boss. That is now
Yeah, you
yours.
wrote off. You wrote off on everything.
She's trying to punch up, but she is the up.
Yeah.
There's no up beyond her.
What she's trying
Walt
to
Disney, motherfucker's dead.
what she's trying to do is lay blame to every crony that she hired.
Yeah, exactly. She's
That's
like,
what it
"Oh,
is.
was
Like
the
I didn't do it.
production's
I trusted these people, and they let me
Yeah.
down.
No, you
And therefore
greenlit
they
it
let
all.
you guys
signed
down.
off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
I'm just as upset as you are.
yeah.
It's like, no, your 4 houses that it bought in Malibu
Yeah.
fucking aren't upset about it.
You approve this.
But
Yeah.
even after all has been said and everything, and they admitted to whatever nonsense that they're admitting to, they want to bring Ray back and do another Star Wars movie.
I hope it's a reboot of the sequels. Just rewrite them.
Just retcons.
I'd be down
I'd be
for
down with
yeah.
that. She's
I
an
want-
awesome actor. And
I want to
It was
have that.
all a dream.
Do you remember in Rebels? Do you remember in Rebel where Ahsoka and what's the name went through the portal and they could see different
Oh
times?
yeah, the land.
Oh,
Can we not get that and
World
then
among worlds or something?
redcon like just destroy all of this stuff?
Yeah, you
Like
could.
they come back.
They
and
could
say none of this
multiverse the
exists.
shit out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Star Wars
Just
multiverse.
destroy all of it.
Yeah, they could just be like, somehow Palpatine survived. Actually, no, he got the Soul Stone, but they got that. Spider-Man took it back, so Palpatine didn't come back.
Yeah, I need something like that. That would make me really happy. As stupid as it sounds, I think a lot of people will be happy if they somehow destroy this trilogy out of the canon.
How Palpatine returned.
Oh
You know,
man,
never
it
not be
never
funny.
gets old.
I think
Never
Mark
gets
Hamill
old.
would be so happy if they redid it because he
Oh, yeah, he
hated what they
hated
did
them.
to them.
Yeah.
He would actually come back for free probably to do his,
Oh, totally.
to
He'd be
do
like, "Wait,
his
we're
scenes.
redoing it back, and you're gonna ask my opinion? Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll pay you.
I'm gonna walk into the sunset as a badass Jedi. Yes, sign me up.
Yeah.
Do all the de-aging you want. I'm in.
I
Yeah.
also want them to actually give him his green lightsaber rather than that little final fight he had with Kylo Ren where he used the blue one. I was like, what the hell are you doing? That's not
It's
sorry.
such a
That
disaster.
annoyed me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
wanted to
such
see
a
his green one.
disaster. How does one not get fired from that is beyond me. You had the holy trinity of the three of them, Han, Leia, and Luke, and you didn't put them in any of the movies together. That itself is a fireable offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. Also,
Yeah.
that weird Leia thing where she floated off in space and
Yeah.
survived.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she just like
That-
farts
Way
her
to
back
show
onto the
respect
ship.
and class. Have her floating dead in space.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
Good,
do
good
something
on
that
you
you
guys for showing class.
and then do something that you can easily put the Wicked Witch of the West's theme over it, and it would fit perfectly.
Yeah. Man, it just yeah.
Yep. not good.
I'm hoping there is talk that they want to do Darth Malagus. I think am I pronouncing that right?
Well,
They wanna do that.
Malgus.
Yeah,
Or
they
Mal-
want to do that.
Also,
the-
there was a release of the cast for the High Republic movie or something, or no, Star Wars
Oh, that's a
Acolyte.
game.
No, sorry, Star Wars Acolyte.
Acolyte, yes.
the new show.
It's not a game, it's a show.
Wait,
yeah.
It's a show.
Is it a
Carrie-
show?
Carrie
it's
Ann
a
Moss
show.
is in it. Yep. So
Yep.
Trinity is going to be in Star
I'll
Wars.
pull it up if I can. If you give me a minute, I can pull it up.
Yeah,
the
Trinity is going to
information.
be in Star Wars. And I think that was one of the main notable. The main guy from Squid Game, he's in it as well. There's rumors that he's a Sith. He's a bad man. But yeah, we get to see Trinity as a Star Warsman. So that'll be neat. But yeah, apart from those two guys, I don't really remember. There's a
Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. I just found out on the site here. Star Wars sneaks Padme Amidala Easter egg in the new episode of Andor.
yeah, her hat.
Where was this?
That was in
In the-
Luthen's shop
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
when she first came back to Naboo with Anakin, the headdress that she was wearing. That was what he was polishing when Clea told him that the guy wants to meet.
So, new
Gosh.
Mandalorian. I'm just gonna spew off some things I've been seeing.
Yeah.
New Mandalorian season 3 costume will reportedly channel Darth Maul.
Yeah, the what's his name from
Are you
Breaking
talking
Bad?
about his Darth Maul?
No, Breaking Bad. That guy, Gus Fring. What's his character's name?
Yeah, guys.
His costume. They've been talking about the costume who works for him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense because the Mandalorians have a kind of a history with Darth Maul.
Yeah, they do.
Star Wars just retcon Ahsoka's backstory in the new Disney Plus show. So that was the baby Ahsoka, all that stuff.
She was a baby. How was that retcon?
I don't know. They're saying
I didn't see how that was retconned.
She was a baby and then became a Jedi.
And she had
Was she not a baby? Is that the original story?
I don't know.
No. Maybe I don't. No, I can't think of a good reason.
Yep. So Alvin, after the last 2 episodes, which you thought were super boring, now seeing this one, were they worth it?
The Prison Break, I had to tell myself that it has to be simple because it shouldn't be elaborate because there are a bunch of goofballs in there running the asylum. So I gave that a pass. Mon Mothma thing, it was all right. Deidre was, it wasn't a terrible episode. It wasn't a great episode. I'm gonna give this probably a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it's a decent score for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10 on this one.
Nathan,
What say you, Nathan?
Wow, that's okay. I didn't score the same, but that is the closest I think we've gotten to scoring for the show so far. I'm giving it a 7.5. It wasn't bad.
What did you give
didn't-
last week? You gave last week a similar score?
I think last week was 6 or 6.5, something like
Okay.
that.
So
I
it went up a
wasn't
little bit for
not
you.
happy.
Okay.
It did, but and I get it. The Prison Break was supposed to be simple, and I really did like it when they made it this big Prison Break scene. You know, he's on the comms to everyone, and then the comms changed his voice when it echoed throughout. So that way, as we've heard earlier, it's always that deep, dark voice. And now you realize it's just, a
some
computer.
lackey.
Yeah, it's one of those guys. Hello, guys.
Yeah,
Time to go to bed.
It was the beta of the Kylo Ren voice
Yeah.
change mod.
And so that was good. But unfortunately, I didn't really get this huge feeling like this is a big deal. It felt more like this is something that they can easily do, that they know about. They're just afraid, and just no one's done it. Which isn't bad. I get that's what they're kind of doing, but it just felt a little off for me compared, especially to the Eye episode where they did the heist. That one, I had no idea what would happen because we don't know. We know in the future that Andor has to be out of the prison. He has to escape. He has to do something. But for the heist, we have no knowledge of what would happen. Andor could go to prison. From that, he could get stopped. They might fail. Everyone might die. It might be a success. And that one had more variables to it. That made it a bit more exciting for me to watch. This one, it only really had one outcome for me, and that was Andor has to escape. So I just, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be.
All right. Justin, what did you give it?
Well,
Okay.
Elvin, you got something on the screen here.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll finish off your score and then we'll go to this after.
I'm gonna give this one, I think, an 8.5.
Whoa. Okay. That's
I-
almost near to perfection here.
Yep. I thought that the last 2 episodes were in my opinion, a perfect build up to what happened. The prison break, sure, you can, yeah. The prison break, while I agree, so the Eye was perfect. I think I gave that one a 10. But that was like getting people hooked. It was just like, here's an end to a story, here's a climax, and then people are like, okay, this is good. Like, now I know that this is a good show and I'm going to watch it. And I've seen a lot of people who have said, I'm not going to watch any more Star Wars stuff because I'm just getting mad until my friends and people I respect tell me that this is good. And after the Eye finished, then I saw a lot of those people be like, after like having conversations with their friends and stuff, being like, okay, I'll watch this show. So I think the Eye had to be that extravagant, had to be that good to get people back into Star Wars. And then I think this arc I think this is I prefer these 3 episodes to the Eyes 3 episodes because I'm way more invested in this series and in the Andor character. Andy Serkis's performance was just mind-boggling. All the nuances in his reactions, and you can see the wheels turning, and all of the things, and they're not pandering to the audience for a fucking second in this show. They are they're not assuming we're dumb. They're assuming we're smart, and that okay, well, we'll show you this like little hint here. You can fit in the rest. We don't have to walk you through the fact that the power's out or that they're doing we don't have to explain why they're doing things in exposition. We're just going to show you that they're doing something, and you can fill in the blanks. You're smart enough. You can figure out why. And we'll give you a little hints here, but we're not going to over explain it. And it's just like, okay, I fucking really like that because it also too rewards multiple watches. I watched it last night and then I watched it like a couple hours ago, and I still got as excited. And actually, because I wasn't so bombarded with story things and action stuff, I was able to like pay more attention to smaller details. And that the end bit when Andy's sitting there and just like, I can't swim, like I got a little misty-eyed on that because I wasn't like, I understood the gravity of the situation, and then also noticed like, oh, he's happy, like he's like, I can't swim, and he's like, all right, here the road ends for me here. And it was just like, fuck, that's heavy. I love them on math, but
okay, here's the thing, he can't swim. Couldn't Andor go just jump in with us, we'll help you?
Sure,
There's
but
like
that's what I was
pushed off
thinking,
immediately. He got pushed off immediately.
He just needs to jump in, especially because everyone was racing to jump off the edge. I thought someone was going to push him in.
True, but they're also jumping.
Swim.
They're also jumping off of like 200 feet.
Yeah, I thought they would.
So you're gonna sink. You're gonna. So exactly. So like some people probably didn't live that jump.
Yeah.
So like if you jump off like a 50-foot cliff, you're going down 25. Like you're going deep. So like that alone is just like, I can't swim. Well, somebody who's down there needs to swim for their fucking life just to make sure that they get up. So like they can't be like, oh, we'll save you, don't worry, we'll get you. It's like, well, he's sinking like a rock, so good luck. So yeah, maybe he jumped off, but like I bet you half the people that jumped off didn't make it. And we see there was thousands of people, and we saw maybe 100 people swimming.
Yeah. Oh, but remember, there were multiple exits that they were jumping out of. I thought
that's true too.
Yeah, there's multiple exits.
By the way, I just want to ask you guys, was it just me, or did you guys... I never really paid attention to the outside of the prison, the background besides the water. I thought there was a city there, or a town or something.
Yeah, it's a bit away though. I saw it, but it wasn't close by. It was neighboring, but it's still a good mile away.
Okay.
So you still got to swim a mile in deep water.
That too, yeah.
And that's not fun.
Yeah. So again, like he can't swim, but it's like, can you drag somebody who can't swim a mile?
Yeah.
Do you know what? So I used to be allowed the test for that. I think we're like 100 meters, something.
You
like
should
that.
wear those boots.
The electric ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, maybe they got flotation devices.
Yeah.
Like PTFEs.
The bright orange.
Yeah. There's high vis.
Gather a bunch of boots and tie them in a knot, and there's your little boat.
Sure.
There it is. I just MacGyvered his esky right there.
There was also more room on the door for Jack.
There you go.
But
Jack was just dumb.
Yeah. So there was enough nuance, and the buildup and the pacing of these 3 episodes I thought were just beautiful. And I think I got more out of these 3 episodes than I did The Eye. The Eye was a great start to like what to expect, but also let me relax because I've been burnt before by Star Wars many times. And after seeing The Eye and seeing that, like, okay, they can tell a story and have twists and not follow tropes, and they can surprise me and excite me. So when they were like, hey, we're going to slow it down for a couple episodes, I was like, you fucking in the driver's seat. I'm here. I'm ready. And so then when we got to see all of the loose ends tied up. No plot holes. There's been no single part that I've been like, that doesn't make sense. Like, apart from them leaving, and the reason why I didn't give this a 10 was because there are a couple things, like leaving the 2 guards alive. Now, we can assume that some other prisoner just showed up and they just fucking murked him. Which probably. But it would have been, I think, good to see maybe Andy Serkis just like cap them both to be like his retribution. He's finally conquered
Yeah,
them.
I thought that was gonna happen. I really
In his
did
roid
thought-
stage when he's yelling.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it would have been. This one's for me, and this one's for my homie that died. You know?
Totally. Yeah.
I think that's what I wanted. I wanted him to say, the man that just died, who was 40 days away from living a life.
This
you
is for
deserve
all
it.
off. And then
Yeah.
he just fucking caves their skulls in.
How dare you guys screw this man who paid his dues here?
Especially
Right.
after like the impassionate, when he's just like, they fried 100 people, and he looks them dead in the eye and he's like,
Yeah.
to silence them. It's just like,
Yeah.
whoa. There was some fucking like the locker room the speeches in this episode. It was great. There was like this
Yep.
was there's gonna be 14-year-olds who are gonna like, I want to become an actor, and they're gonna do monologues from this fucking episode for their auditions.
I am glad that he did
Speaking
mention
of 14-year-olds, I see a lot of
Yeah.
14-year-olds in this Acolyte TV show.
Oh,
okay.
I'm really concerned with these.
what do you mean
these choices here.
14-year-olds?
I'm
You
just
scared
saying
me
that. I'm just saying they all look like kids. Because I'm
They're
old.
all like,
Some
I'm
look young,
concerned.
but
I'm really
I-
concerned.
Carrie
because-
Ann Moss is like 60, motherfucker.
Yeah,
my
she's the
guess
only-
is that
she's-
these are just the photos, where they trying to look their best, and their best to them as young as possible.
And
I'm
Legion
really
J is,
concerned
like,
about this
50.
show. I have a feeling this show is gonna suck bad.
Well,
I'm-
I don't really know what to expect, because this is the High Republic. We haven't
Because
seen
this is
anything
this
in the
is
High Republic
casting.
yet.
This is casting to Disney's specialty. They want to make sure they get every box checked off.
Yeah.
And I only see one person here that I could say could possibly two. I see two. Daphne and Lee Jung. I have seen their work. So
And Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah, Carrie Ann Moss she doesn't count. I'm talking about the young kids here.
Oh yeah.
she's
what
she's
was
a
Daphne
she's
in?
a she's a she's a Hall of Famer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But
What was
I'm
Daphne in?
I can't remember the.
They've all
remember
been
the-
in shows that I've heard of.
No. They have,
but haven't watched.
but I've seen Daphne. If I remember next week, I'll try to remember where she was in, and I can just look it up too right now. One of you guys look it up while I do my little rant here, where Daphne's been, and I'll tell you.
Nathan, do you have a keyboard?
Obviously,
I
Lee.
do.
Lee's obviously from the that
Squid Game.
Squid Game. So
And he's been in a couple like really fucking good Korean shows. He's like, honestly, he's the one that I'm most excited for. Carry on.
I know nothing about the Acolytes.
Okay. For Daphne, just want to bring up the big movie that she's been in that I remember, Logan.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's where that she's from. She's a phenomenal actress in that movie. I really loved her take on it. Even though she was a little kid, she did a great job. So I
Wait,
have
was she
faith.
the girl?
Yeah.
Oh shit, she was
Yeah.
something 13 or what was her name?
No.
13.
X.
You're
Something.
thinking of Stranger
No,
Things, and you're thinking
No,
of 11.
X13.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm stupid.
But also yeah.
But anyways, I like her, and I think she'll be fine.
Oh.
Lee, I'm not familiar with the show. Is this supposed to be a prequel?
So this is the High Republic. This is the first live action High Republic stuff.
Okay, so
This is
are we
far
supposed to have
prequel.
this many young people in that High Republic show?
Sure.
We only have one veteran, Carrie. That's it. Are we
Well,
not supposed to
this
have some
is-
middle-aged men in there too?
Well,
We
keep
don't
in
know.
mind, there's only like
And I'm saying this not out of
two
ignorance or
white
anything.
people
I don't
who
know. I
age
know
like
nothing
milk.
about this show.
So like most of them could be in their 50s, but just look good because
None of these people are in their 50s.
Lee Jung Jae probably is. How
No
old is he?
way. He's probably
I don't know.
35,
Justin,
Steve.
40 at
just-
the latest.
when you play the Old Republic, do you find that most people create their characters looking young or old?
Young.
Yeah. There we go. That's our explanation.
Yep.
I created him to my likeness.
He's 49.
Wow, that is some surgery done on him.
Well, he's Korean.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, Korean.
Okay,
Take care of their skin.
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
this show.
No, generally Korean actors get a shitload of plastic surgery.
I think it's a little early to kind of guess. I don't like how
I'm
Disney
not
has
guessing based on
retconned-
just random. I'm guessing based on Disney's track record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I don't get me wrong. I want this to be good because I need good stuff to watch.
Okay. I'm gonna
So-
be devil's advocate here. Mandalorian was a bunch of unknowns, some young
No,
people.
no.
Hold on. And it had what's her name, the wrestler, and then what's her name from Battlestar Galactica. And then
Mandalorian had the main character, Pascal.
yeah, Pedro Pascal.
Right away when I heard he's on board, I'm like, yep, because I just saw him.
Did you watch Squid Game?
Yeah, I loved Lee. in that.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I have faith in him and Daphne
Yeah.
that they're gonna probably kill it, and obviously Carrie. But all
Mm-hmm.
the other ones in here, I don't know too much about them, and I'm
Sure.
worried about that
Sure.
because if 3 out of the 9 are good actors, the other ones are not good. That's problematic. But obviously, I haven't seen it yet, and
Mhm.
we'll discuss it when it does drop. But
But
early
also, too,
indications kind of
Star Wars always has from the beginning, they want no-namers. They want the unknowns. They don't want because they don't
Yeah,
want
but can they
to-
afford to do that right now at this stage in what's
Well,
happening?
they've always
with
done
them?
it. And
Well,
they
doesn't mean you
did it-
continue doing it. They always didn't suck before. Now they do. So should
Yeah.
we continue sucking? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you're in a trench in your hole,
Mhm.
should you not try to bring the big guns out and get yourself out of the hole first? Not
But-
dig deeper into a hole.
But the
right?
big guns come with the brand recognition. I'm surprised Carrie Ann Moss is in this. I'm gonna watch this and only think Trinity, which is gonna take me out of
Mhm.
Star Wars, and it's gonna be a huge. I'm just gonna think The Matrix.
Just don't
like-
watch the last Matrix because that was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I don't remember it. It was fine. It was whatever. It could have been way worse.
I don't know what else is way worse.
It was fine. It was an interesting theory, and I don't remember much. It didn't blow my mind, but I wasn't upset about it. I watched it and I was like, ah, cool. Anyway, next. Like it wasn't as keep in mind too,
But
it's following The Matrix, which was arguably one of the most influential movies ever created. So the fact that most people who watched it just went, oh, neat. He's a video game guy now. Oh, they kind of did the same thing. Anyway, and then went on with their day. Loud people on the internet were like, this is fucking garbage. I watched it and I was like, oh, neat. Anyway, I don't remember much of it. I watched it like a year ago and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. The fact that they got it was fine from the best movie ever created, that means it was probably pretty good.
I just
Anything
want
you
to touch on the Acolyte. I don't want to say plot, but kind of the general premise of it. For those of you who are familiar with the Old Republic, the height of the Old Republic stories, mainly in the main game it's like I'm holding it up in the MMO. It takes place 3,643 years before the Battle of Yavin, and that's just the start of the main online game. Though the Knights of the Old Republic game is even older than that, and they've got a lot of stuff, other stories that's older than that. The High Republic takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace. It's not really a real replacement. Yeah, it's not. Even then, it's not like an actual in between. It's significantly closer to when the Phantom Menace, to when the actual events of our regular Star Wars content that we look at takes place. So it's not really a replacement for the Old Republic that Disney's doing. It's more of just a here's another prequel.
Yeah.
My concern with this is the first time we're going to go back that far. Is it not in a live TV show?
Yes.
We've had games, obviously, in the past, but
Yeah.
this is the first time we're going to go into that era where the Jedi Order was at its prime. Correct?
Close.
For the 100 years, yes. But if you go for what Disney has retconned with the Old Republic, the Jedi were not in their prime. It was the Sith were in their prime. If you consider the thousands of Sith.
But in this show, are they not in their prime?
They're at
more so. Well, I
Yeah.
would
Because
No,
in
no,
the comments here in their article, it says the High Republic saw the Jedi Order at its prime centuries prior to the events of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
but at the Phantom Menace there was only 2. They were doing the rule of 2. This is, I guess, but also too, this is an untouched area. So
actually,
like
Sorry,
rule of
you can
2 was created by Darth Bane. And during Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR, the Old Republic, that is before Disney took over. That was technically, like, people refer to that as like this is the height, but that was like the equalizer. That was when essentially the Sith had their own planet and the Jedi had their own planet. They were just political factions. And then in Episode 1, Phantom Menace era, Phantom of the Menace, as we say, that is like full rule of 2, and the Sith are hiding, and the Jedi are a political figure, and they are the Republic. They are the protectors of the Republic. So is that to say that 100 years before that there were even less Sith? Like, I don't know what the fuck they're going to be fighting against. If they were even more powerful or like in power than later, when there was only one motherfucker like opposing them. So is it just going to be like Happy Tree Friends, where they're just going to be like
it says
or,
here
no, Happy Tree Friends is a bad My Little Pony, where they're just going to be like, we're the Jedi, we love.
It says in the article, let me read the paragraphs quickly, Nathan. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated.
So,
Nathan, let Nathan.
A quick thing. The rule of 2 does take place at this time. Darth Bane is canon because we've seen him in the Clone Wars.
Yep.
And he was around about 1,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, roughly. Which means that this show, which is roughly 100 years before, definitely has the rule of 2. So only 2 Sith at a time. However, the problem is the Sith haven't been seen for, I can't remember, in Star Wars they mentioned that the Sith haven't been seen for a certain amount of time.
1,000 years.
Is it? Yes, I think it was 1,000 years. And if they're now going to introduce Sith and have the Jedi widely know about it, Star Wars is now just creating some. Well, not Star Wars. Disney's creating some.
So it's changing the order of what we were used to in the novels.
No.
This is
movies.
in
the movies.
Rebels, and this was in Episode 1.
Yep.
The Sith haven't been a thing for 1,000 years, Master. So this now too. Also, the fact that it's like more of a mystery thriller, that also kind of intrigues me, because like we've gotten the gunslinger thing with the Mandalorian. That was good. We're now getting a spy thriller. So far, this is fucking good. We get like a noir, like mystery thing. That'd be cool. Now, because I think this is slated to come out in 2024. It says 2023, but that probably will get pushed back.
2024. It's going to be spring 2024, I'm thinking.
Yeah. They haven't really announced who's directing it, or who's involved as far as production. It does say Kathleen Kennedy is a producer, but she
I just read
is
that right now too.
But she's also been a producer on every Andor episode, so she is literally just there because she pays money, or because they pay her money.
Yeah, money.
So, but the rest of the people on here, I would say half of them have fucking garbage under their CV. The other half, like co-producer on just like trash TV here and there. Russian Doll, I've heard, is pretty okay.
My concern level has just gone up even more now.
But the other half, we have people who are like production on like Sherlock Holmes, Huntsman.
If you say Boba Fett, I'm out of here.
No, nothing like that. Solo, The Witcher, The Batman, Rogue One. I'm seeing gunslinger, like Stargate SG-1, which, say what you want, that's a relatively pretty.
Yeah.
That's a good show for people with nerdy or with fan bases with nerdy canon. So Stargate SG-1, that's a pretty good one. Hand of God, I've heard. Umbrella Academy, heard that's pretty good.
I can't.
Also, people who worked on Solo, Rebels, a bunch of episodes, Rogue One. So like it's, but I don't think any of this is confirmed. Like these are the people, because like the person who says it's the series is directed by, she's done Russian Doll, Single Drunk Female, which I've never heard of that show, Pink and Blue, which is a short, Almost Family, which is a TV series, like one episode of here and there, director of Bachelorette, like trash TV. So I don't think any of the production team is now 100% confirmed.
Going back to Daphne, it wasn't Wolverine that also I have confidence in her. Is she's also in a show called His Dark Materials,
Mm-hmm.
which I
Stephen
really
King?
like, and I think she's the girl. She's in there. She goes to the other realm, I think, first in the first season.
Is that
So
the Stephen King thing?
Who?
No.
No. That's the Dark Towers you're talking about.
Oh, His Dark Material. Oh, yeah, that's the HBO thing. Yeah, I've heard that's-
The first season was good. Second season was okay. Third season is coming out soon. So she's in there. She does a good job in there too. So, yeah, I mean, I want to be optimistic, of course, right? Because it's a Star Wars show. You always want to be optimistic, but I don't know, man. I'm a little afraid about something. Tells me to be ready for a letdown. Something's
Sure.
telling me.
But also too, this might be a live action, like just given the production staff that I'm seeing and the cast, this might be a live action Rebels thing. This might be aimed at young adults, because like Andor clearly is for fucking 30-year-old Star Wars fans.
But how many young adults are clamoring for Star Wars versus the 40-year-olds?
True, but that's a business decision to get the young adults in, and animation
I understand
to a young adult. Like,
you want to bring in new people, of course. I
yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
but like a show like Rebels, that is aimed towards children, and it's like old Disney things or old like a lot of Nickelodeon stuff where it's like we know that this is for kids, but we also know that those kids have parents, so we need to put some like innuendos and some good jokes and references that the adults will get, and then they will be able to enjoy it. And that's why we love stuff like Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob, because like there's some shit for adults in there, but it's aimed at kids. Rebels kind of did the same thing, but also too, young adults like teenagers don't want to watch animation because they are too busy trying to act old. They'll be like, I'm not gonna watch this cartoon, that's for kids. So Acolyte might be trying to bridge that gap and be like, well, here's a live action thing that is Star Wars, so it's not a cartoon for kids. It's okay to watch this. So it might be them trying to do that.
For me, like the issue is if you're trying to bring in new people into the the Star Wars thing, I think what you got to do is you got to get the 30 and 40-year-old people hyped and excited, because
That's Carrie Ann Moss.
They're gonna exude that out to the younger generation to come watch it with them, right? For me, I always think the formula is to get the core audience excited about something, because they will be your voice out there. They'll be your word of mouth, and that's more stronger than any commercial or billboard you can put out there to get more eyes on your show. That's why I always think the core audience need to be the ones that get support, that get the show, that understand and love it, because then it's printing money after that.
Well, right? I think having the success with Andor and Andor essentially regaining the trust of the Star Wars franchise, and then we get Ahsoka after this, and then we get The Mandalorian season 3. So I think at that point, when Acolyte comes out, they'll be riding on the coattails of those. So I think probably, as it stands now, I think it might be the weakest of all of those. But I don't think we'll be too upset about it. And again, if it's going for a young adult audience, I think after, and I'm just assuming that Ahsoka is going to be good, and I'm assuming that Mandalorian season 3 will continue to be good. Knock on wood, absolutely.
Yeah, you heard that.
That wasn't your mom, Nathan?
No, I'm
I got
I'm too scared
Cake
that
from
they're
Your
gonna-
uncle's on the
party.
phone.
I'm too scared that they're gonna screw up the Ahsoka show.
Don't worry, they won't. I think.
Yeah, I think
What? Who's the name? Who's the name, Justin?
Granddad. Sorry.
Who's the person in charge?
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
I'm actually in the middle of the audiobooks for this, and I'm telling you guys right now,
Mm-hmm.
the audiobooks are so good. The way they narrate this with the sound effects and everything, it's so good.
Oh, they have,
I
oh,
actually bought 20 Star Wars audiobooks.
Yep.
Darth Bane, Malagaz, all of the High Republic, the old Jedi books from the way back in the day when they actually had blades instead of lightsabers.
So good.
I just hoarded all of them on there. Amazon's like, slow down. You're gonna have to pay
You're
for
like,
all this.
Fuck you,
I'm
Dad.
like, I don't care. I wanted all of my category in my list, and I'm gonna go through it all. I actually listened to it just before I sleep. I put on my headphones.
Mhm.
I sit down I lie down on my pillow, and I turn it on. And I'm telling you, it's some of the best sleep you'll ever have. Because when I'm in my
How are
deep
your
sleep,
dreams?
oh, they're all
Star
lightsabers.
Wars.
They're all lightsabers and hoodies, baby, all day
Hell yeah.
long. It's
Lightsabers
awesome.
and hoodies.
Yes, it's all
Oh,
good. Yeah, the other day I was outside gardening with the lightsaber and hoodie in my dream, so that was awesome. Yeah, I was actually cutting the weeds with the lightsaber.
I used to when I was a kid, when I was like 12 or 11, I had a Darth Maul lightsaber, the like telescoping like
Yeah,
piece
yeah,
of shit, like just the shittiest plastic, but it like telescoped and it had light bulbs. So
Yep.
if you were in complete and utter darkness, they would kind of glow red because they were like maybe
Yeah. Because thick
quarter-
plastic is great to have light come out of it.
yeah, they're like quarter watt light bulbs that they fucking had in there, and they lasted like a week.
Well, it
but I
had to
was
be a
just like,
safety reason.
I got
that's
a lights. I got a saber
Yeah.
staff. Also, it was like this thick. But
why. Yeah, because
I
they had to
had-
retract in there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I had I would turn my sprinkler on, and it was like one of the ones that went like, and I would fucking for hours in my yard just block water.
So you know what is the most expensive lightsabers you can buy? Because I just realized I don't have one on my wall. So I want to go buy one. And I don't care how much it costs.
the Black Series ones are quite nice. I got some Black. Well, my brother's got some Black Series.
I want that
lightsaber.
one, Justin.
This is not one of the most expensive ones.
How much is
This-
that one?
Well, this one I bought like maybe 10 years ago, and this was $1,200.
Wait, where's that from?
This is Ultra Sabers. So this is one of the this is one of the shitty ones. This is still
So-
better than Galaxy's Edge.
So where should I go buy one if I want to buy one?
You're gonna want to spend at least $1,000
Yeah, that's fine.
because now they have like lights in the blade, and they also when I spin this one's okay.
Oh my god. things are happening in my body when you do that.
And this has like a soundboard, and like I can modify the color and everything, and it's all like the same dimensions, so you can upgrade. Like I've got other parts and shit anyway, but now they have a thing called I don't remember what it's called, but essentially it can tell when you're just spinning it, and it has a different sound. So
It's
instead
like a
of just-
gyroscope kind of thing, right?
no. A gyroscope is what the old ones have,
Oh,
where they
okay.
sense that it moves, and then they go, okay, now we're going to play the sound. Now they have dynamic audio, where if you're spinning it, it will constantly loop and essentially play a sound. So it is a different sound if you're just spinning it constantly. It's not just playing one sound file.
Gotcha.
And they're so much brighter, and they're so much more durable, and also
Make sure you send me the link. I'm gonna purchase one.
just Google custom lightsaber. I'll send you a couple keywords to search, because there's
Okay.
NeoPixel. Look for NeoPixel lightsaber, because that's the
Oh,
one
I've
with
heard
the
of
lights in the
those,
blade.
So I'm gonna get
and-
Vader's. I'm gonna get Vader's, and I'm gonna get Luke's.
Oh, if you just want that's easy to do.
And then I have Nathan come and drool.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pitch you as well a slightly cheaper alternative. The Black Series lightsabers are they're not as nice in terms of like when you actually like want to turn them on. and
Okay, I'll
mess
buy
around
the
with them,
Obi-Wan in that one then.
But they're good looking. They're a little cheaper. They're like $300+ They're nice. There are no complaints with them. I wouldn't go around playing with them, but
No. These are gonna go on the wall, and they're not gonna go anywhere. Me and Justin are gonna lock it on the wall there, and it'll be part of the background.
Do you know a cool lightsaber? What's his name? Cal?
That way, we don't have to have the light,
Cal's
the
lightsaber.
little
Kestis?
lights in there.
Yeah.
We'll just have a lightsaber going straight up.
Yeah.
Alvin, do you know what you need to do? You got to play the Old Republic. You have to have a Jedi character, and you have to make your lightsaber custom. You can choose the hilt and all that.
I
You
want
got
a
to do that.
gold lightsaber.
You can.
Like the blazer, you can, yeah.
That's sick.
For the longest time, I had purple. With like
Why
a
are they
dark
not
purple.
bringing an updated version of that game?
They're updating
Is
it
it
constantly.
It's
It's
like, there's
making
constant updates,
EA
yeah.
millions of dollars.
Is it the
I'm
graphics
still-
updated?
They're
is-
actu-
They made a good decision where they made it stylistic so that it ages well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It still looks good, and they have obviously like upgraded to like, so now it's 4K, so like the effects look good. It aged well. I'll still play it now and I'll be like, yeah, it still looks good because it still has like high res textures and stuff like that. But it's like it's cartoony ish in presentation, so it's not like going for a photorealistic thing. But yeah, no,
Gotcha.
it looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anytime that they lose players, the player base shrinks. They just get rid of a server, push more people onto one, so it still feels like it's very active.
Yeah.
But I think a couple of years ago or a year or two ago, they released it on Steam.
Yeah.
And that upped the player base again.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've
it's
got
not
the
like
portable
it's-
Steam. I got the Steam Deck, so I could definitely go into that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know
I don't
about
know if it
MMOs
works.
on
I don't-
portable
yeah,
because
because
you need the one. It's still like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you're still mashing
Yeah.
the numpad.
yeah, you need
Oh.
the number pad for that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Shall we call it a night today?
Let's do
That was
it.
we talked more than Andor, which is fine. We like to, maybe push out and do other things in Star Wars related. We could go on for days with Star Wars, right?
But so next week is going to be essentially, because there's 2 episodes left, essentially the series premiere or series finale, part 1, part 2.
Mhm.
So I think it's just going to be balls to the wall. The next
better
2
be.
episodes.
It better be.
Oh, I
That's
think
what-
they have to.
I'm expecting that. I'm expecting a whole
It's
lot of
been
Saul
build up after
Guerrera,
build up.
whole lot of blowing up places. Yeah, I
Yeah,
need
there's
to-
gonna
Can you
be some
imagine
shit.
Saul just running down the beach with the Gatling gun and
The
the Speedo? Just
We need to get D on making that artwork. That's going to be our new splash.
We need the popcorn chicken guy with the Speedo on.
Yeah, the
Just
Saga
be running down.
It just says Saul. Better call Saul when you need help. All right, so we'll wrap it up for this week, and we'll be back next week, right?
We will.
Are we going to be doing also Tales of the Jedi next week? Because we forgot to this week.
Yes,
and last
I'm gonna actively try to watch at least one episode per day until
Yeah,
next
you don't have
week,
to
and
binge them all.
yeah.
week. It
but,
picks up. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll
It's don't. It is an accessory story.
okay.
It's just like, oh, that's cool to know. It's just like little add-ons here and there. It's not like a mind-blowing, world-changing thing. It's just like, here's some little backstory, and you're like, okay, that's cool. It's the footnotes.
All right.
It's flavor text. The show.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out, listening to us. Go check us out at A&R Universe. Go check out our Monday podcast at 8:30 p.m. And very soon, go check out our Saturday morning, Mighty Mornings. It's called. It's going to be cartoon-based nostalgia. That's coming
Nice,
out very
thank you.
soon. We're going to post it on our Twitter and Instagram. Go check that out. We have a big day tomorrow for the A&R team. We'll put it all up on social media, and we'll even do a recording, and we'll talk all about it on Monday night. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our popcorn chicken segment of Andor. We'll see you guys next week. Say bye, everybody.
Say bye to you. May
Bye-bye.
the force
Bye,
be with
everybody.
you.
Live long and prosper.